I just wanted to make a short video explaining a little project we're going to work on. So, in a public administration class, one thing I hope you're realizing is that public administrators, our task is to solve problems. And so, I used to have one assignment attached to this class that, well, when it comes down to it, actually was pretty boring. So it was looking at administrative problem solving. It was very broken down and chunked, but students didn't really connect to it or like it. So I decided to change it. I do want to keep the aspect of looking at problem solving in the class. And so for this, what we're doing is we're going to have you choose an article or a story that illustrates public administration and problem solving. So I hope by now you can tell that public administrators are usually tasked for doing something or solving a problem. When a problem comes up, maybe trying to fix it to be effective. And so what I'm going to have you do is look in some articles and try to find an instance of a problem being solved by public administrators. Now, this could be an internal problem or an external problem. So in the case of earlier assignments, I had you look at the creation of an agency and explain why it was created. And usually it's to address some issue, right? So the example I gave was the creation of the EPA through the Clean Water and the Clean Air Acts. There was a problem identified, and then an agency was created to try to fix that. And some people argue that they've been very effective in fixing it, and it kind of led to people thinking maybe we don't need this anymore because the air is cleaner and the water is cleaner. But that's a whole different discussion. What I want you to do is to pay attention to different problems that have occurred or are occurring and try to see how public administration is trying to deal with that. Again, is either internally, so maybe within my agency. So my problem I had at this class, I was doing this, I had an assignment that was boring, and I'm trying to make it a little better and a little more interactive, right? So we're going to do this, and then we'll move it on to actual discussion where you're going to basically teach each other. So that's my way of trying to fix it. And then what happens is after a few semesters, I'll go back and see how that works. And that's how we work with administrative problem solving. Another example, I changed textbooks this semester. Prior semesters, I used the same textbook for about 10 years. And the last textbook was very dry. And in fact, I had a School of Mine student tell me, this book reads like a manual. So I searched for a more interesting book. I think I found one. I'll probably get feedback from you how you like it, and if it gets its job done. But again, we're trying to solve problems, deal with administrative issues. So what I'm going to ask you to do is to find a problem and try to write about it. And this could be a short paper. I did put in the syllabus 4 pages. You could do 2 to 4. Make sure it's at least 2 pages, and we do have some citations, and we get back to an article. Again, I want you to approach this as public administration solves problems, and here's an example of how it does it. Or public administration tries to solve problems, and here's an example of how they try to solve it. And you're going to write it in a way that's designed for students to learn from. So have fun with this, and we have a few weeks to work on it, but let me know if you have any questions.